Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy.
That's a good football team that we beat tonight, and beat them in a manner that doesn't happen quite often. So proud of our guys. They had a great mindset. Thought they were physical tonight. We were the more physical team. I thought that we were pretty disciplined defensively. I thought our corners, in particular, Zy Alexander, was tested early on, and we challenged him to, really play the ball in the air, and I thought he did a great job. And that's what they wanted to do early. They wanted to throw fades. He took that away from them. And I give our defense a lot of credit. And, they've been under a lot of scrutiny. And to see that kind of development over the past couple of weeks has been fun to see. And that offense is just, they're averaging over the last 5 teams that they played incredible offensive production. So throwing it, catching it, running it, the offensive line, pretty impressive stuff.
That was Brian Kelly after the game on Saturday night in Death Valley. 48-18 was the final. LSU by 30 over Auburn. And as I said to start the show, that's just a really good matchup for LSU because Auburn's defense is good. It's not great. And good, not great. It's not going to do a lot against this LSU offense. And Auburn just does not have the dudes on offense to keep up. They just don't. There's a reason they scored 3 offensive points against A&M. They got the run game going a little bit against Georgia, but they weren't able to do that totally against LSU. I mean, you look up at the end of the day, 34 carries for 139 yards. That's 4 yards a carry, but it's 139 yards. Auburn was going to need to run for 185, 190, 220 yards in this game to win it because they just don't have the ability to throw the football. Peyton Thorne, 12 of 23 for 102 yards. Ashford was 3 of 4. In his kind of gadget duty for 52 yards and a touchdown, but they just can't. They don't have the horses on the outside. Florida State does. They got Keon Coleman. They got Johnny Wilson. They're a problem. Luther Burden is a problem. Ole Miss has got enough guys at wide receiver that can give you some issues. Auburn just doesn't have that guy. And I think that I'm probably going to lean here more so toward Auburn's ineptitude as opposed to some sort of big improvement from LSU. I think LSU played better on defense. They did not have huge coverage bust. They didn't have very obvious frequent missed tackles as they generally have. They were in position. They played pretty fast. And I thought they did kind of rise up with the crowd, and they made some solid plays on third downs. Finally, after being inept for most of the season, LSU was good on third down. They held Auburn to just 3 conversions in 12 attempts. And they forced them into a couple of third and longs. They stopped them on a third and short. It was solid, not spectacular. The bigger story to me in this game is that Auburn is fairly inept. Now, I don't know that Jalen Milrose is fantastic. I don't know that A&M's offense is humming on all cylinders. I'm certainly not terrified of Graham Mertz coming in here running Billy Napier's offense, although they scored some points against South Carolina on Saturday. It's not like you're playing a murderer's row of quarterbacks coming up. The best quarterbacks you're going to play, you've already seen. You've already seen Jackson Dart. You've already seen Jordan Travis. Those guys are a concern. Peyton Thorne was not a concern. And Brian Kelly was talking after the game about the tackling continuing to improve.
We've taken a lot of air out of the offenses in terms of gap integrity. We're flattening out much more the gaps, so there's not a lot of space. So credit the front 7. The front 7's doing a much better job. So now when safeties and corners are filling, they don't have huge areas to tackle in. We're creating better opportunities for them to get into tackling space. So it starts there, and then we're tackling 20 minutes a day now. Now, we're not bringing them on the ground because you can't do that, but we are fundamentally working on tackling every single day until we are in a position where we feel like we're going to tackle the football the right way, and that was the commitment that we had. We have to be able to continue to get better defensively, and those are kind of the priorities.
It was nice to see Harold Perkins flying up the field, coming on that pressure and getting a big tackle in the backfield. That looks like what an LSU defense is supposed to look like. Omar Spates returned to the lineup, and he had 8 tackles, which was second on the team. 2 of those were solo. It was better. And for LSU to come out early in the game and force the amount of punts that they did. They forced Auburn to punt 5 times in the first half. Like, that's like unheard of for LSU. You had in the second half the games against Ole Miss and Missouri, just no stops, no nothing. And for LSU to come out, to be assertive, and to get two quick 3-and-outs, and then a third 3-and-out in the 5 punts in the first half. And by that point, you were able to salt it away with your offense in the second half. Again, this comes back to the same point. Like, you don't have to be the best defense in school history. You don't have to be the best defense in the conference. You just have to be a competent defense that gets a few stops and then allow your offense to go to work. And then once your offense goes to work and starts rolling up points and you get up 14, 17, 21, 28 points and you force a team to become one-dimensional, it gets a lot easier to play defense. You can play coverage. You can rush the passer. You don't have to worry about everything once you get ahead. And this offense will afford you that luxury if you just let it. Get some stops early, get a lead, turn the opponent into a passing team, and then send some of those pass rushers at them. And I think that's a lot of what you saw in this game. In total, Auburn punted 6 times and had a turnover on downs. That's 7 stops. This team gets 7 stops against anybody, that's a win. That's a win. This team gets 7 stops, it's a win. Because there's not a defense, in my estimation, that's going to be able to slow LSU down and keep them to 24 points or so. And if you get 7 stops, you're really only going to allow time for, they had 3 scores in this game. That's going to be 21, 24 points. You're going to win most of those games. So it's still not a work of art. You'd like it to be better, but this is the group you've got. And they're improving. They're working on it. I think they're a more confident team than they were. And now hopefully they can get healthier. They're going to get an opportunity against Army to probably rest some guys. We heard an injury update on Mekhi Wingo, who's a little banged up this week. You probably got a lot of that after 2 months of football. But you can rest some guys against Army. You got the bye week, and it's 21 days between playing against Auburn and playing in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. And that's the day your defense has got to be as good as it's been all year. Because Alabama will be the best defense that LSU plays this year unless they get to Atlanta. We'll see. But I was happy leaving the stadium on Saturday. I was happy going into the postgame show. I thought the defense was good. I think when I look at it honestly, when I try to look at it as objectively as I can, I just look at this Auburn team and go, they don't really score on anybody. It's not cause for celebration. I think it's cause that everything's fixed, but it certainly is a step in the right direction. And you got to keep getting better, keep getting healthier, and that's the plan from here on out. LSU wins it 48-18 on Saturday night in Death Valley, taking down the Auburn Tigers. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.